So, I want to choose my words carefully because when we talk about racism, people get skittish and nobody wants to be held responsible for their behaviors. And that's true of me too. I have mismanaged my affairs so badly that I've lost relationships and connections with people that once were incredibly helpful and nice to me. And I take responsibility for it because my life is a mess. Now, I didn't willfully intentionally abuse them racistly, but I did kind of behave different around them because of race. And on top of that, I was not a good influence on their life. So how do you want to describe that? I don't know. I don't want to be a racist. I don't think it's worth it. But this video is made about diversity being an anti-white racist thing. And I believe diversity is for diversity. It's not about being anti any particular race. It's just a specific conception of how we can congregate together. And that congregation, if it includes more differences, skin colors, religions, perspectives, philosophies, it's a good thing. Now, there are some things I have no diversity on at all. There is no God. I don't want to meddle with agnosticism. There just isn't any God that exists. And there's no need for a diversity of opinion. We could all agree that when people talk about giving them money for God, they are bullshitting you to get your money. And that should be known across the world. And when they take your liberties because of God, they are doing so in order to take those liberties, to make you in a burqa or cover your hair or whatever. They want that specific thing to happen. Look, you can disagree. I don't cherish the diversity of opinion. I'm annoyed by it. So sometimes I don't like diversity at all. Racial diversity means having people from every race. That doesn't have to be anti-white, except insofar as you think white people deserve all of the places that are being in question. So if you're talking about a school board and you think that it should be all white people, but instead, because of diversity, they included an ethnic minority, that's diversity. And it doesn't seem to me to be a big deal because I don't care too much. But my criticism and the reason I'm making this video is different. Fundamentally, I believe that fears of the browning of America or Britain or Australia or Russia or whatever you want, whatever nation you're scared will turn into a ethnic paradise and hellhole, right? That's the fear. Fundamentally, fear is at its core. So people will tell you things like the child per household rate goes down for white people and up for other minorities. If you're afraid of that, go out and have more sex. Go out and do it. Don't talk about it. Don't whine about it. You don't have to be afraid, oh no, white people are disappearing, because we haven't disappeared. And worst case scenario, we still exist as a minority, and that's for your perspective that's the worst case scenario. But on top of that, that's a life that we can live. You can be a minority. It's okay. But if you're against it, go out there and have some sex. Drop some ovaries and have some babies. Be a what? What up? You know? A what is a confident, intelligent thing that can invest in what's good and doesn't need to invest against what's bad. You don't need to short sell the reputation of black people and then attack it over and over. That reputation, one, is already very low in a lot of facets of society, but as you notice, there are some facets where it's not low. And so you need no jealousy of those particular goods. But look, I don't know what your life is like, and my life is a paradise. I don't have to work. So you could be offended and say, I don't care for this guy telling me what to feel. I just know that for me, when something's based on fear, that's a weakness. That's not a strength. Being afraid of white people going away or black people taking over, those are fears. They are not values. It is not white pride to say, we're disappearing and I'm scared. That's not prideful. That's fear-based. And when you're living in a life of fear, you don't get as much done, you don't have as much fun, you don't count to gun, much less to hun. And so that's my take on this whole thing. Now, when somebody retorts with something, here's my wager. It will be based on fear. That's my prediction. The last video I saw on this topic was based on the fear of children going to school and speaking multiple languages. You know, really terrible things like multilingualism, like being a polyglot. That's what we're afraid of. I'm not. And English is not going away from my perspective at all. Anyway, that's just my point and my belief. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.